Thank you.
So the economy may be a hot topic on the campaign trail, but the U.S. job market appears to be cooling off. Did you see the numbers today? New jobs numbers way off. Bad news, hiring dropping to a 5-year low. Good news, the unemployment rate also plunging to its lowest since 2007. President Obama praising that progress. But some economists say the drop is due to 500,000 unemployed Americans actually leaving the labor force. Stop looking for jobs altogether. Steve Moore has just been named Donald Trump's newest economic advisor. He's also a visiting fellow at the Heritage Foundation and a Fox News contributor. Wow, you're a new economic advisor for Trump, and you had a big call today.
Yep.
What happened?
Well, we talked about these jobs numbers, and they are just a disaster. And by the way, you're exactly right. The reason the unemployment rate is so low is because we've had millions and millions of people who just dropped out of the workforce that we're not counting unemployed. The real unemployment rate in the country is 10%. It's not 5%. When you include people who can't find a full-time job, when you include people who've just given up looking for work. And, you know, you just go around the country and you ask people, how's the job market? And you want to laugh line with people, tell them that the unemployment rate is 5%. Nobody believes it.
All right. So what would Donald Trump do to improve that?
Well, I think 2 or 3 things. I mean, one is Donald Trump is proposing the biggest tax rate reduction since Ronald Reagan ran for president. And we know under Reagan, and I even go back to John F. Kennedy, when they cut tax rates, the economy performed much stronger. And there's no question about it. We need, especially in our business taxes, Gretchen, we have the highest business tax rate in the world. Under President Trump, you take that rate down from 35, 36% down to 15%. That's an enormous magnet for jobs. But the other one, that he just gave a big speech last week on the energy issue.
Right.
And I don't think there's too many issues where you've got Hillary Clinton way over here and Donald Trump way over here. So Hillary Clinton and Barack Obama say, don't use any of our energy resources, keep it in the ground, you know, let's move towards green energy. What Trump is saying is, look, we have $50 trillion worth of coal and oil and gas resources. We ought to use those. We can create millions of jobs. Look, if you look at the jobs report today, one of the things that was so depressing, middle-class jobs disappeared. We lost manufacturing jobs, we lost mining jobs, we lost construction jobs, we lost agricultural jobs. Those are the jobs that come back if you have a pro-America energy policy.
Okay, I want to take a look at some of the stats and figures, because President Obama also gave a speech yesterday touting the success of the economy.
Right.
GDP, it was at negative 5.4% when Obama took office. Now it's just above zero at 0.8%. Then we can also look at unemployment. As you mentioned, it's 4.7%, which Obama was saying was a victory, but then you say there's another side to that story. If you look at income and wages, apparently that has gone up about $100, but that's not a lot over 7 years,
for sure.
Right?
I mean, see, now those are big problems. I think actually those are problems for Obama and Hillary, not assets. First of all, let's look at the issue of incomes. I've looked at these statistics for the last 15 years. For 15 years now, the average American, the middle-class workers, have not seen a pay raise, and that's through most of the Bush years and the 7.5 years of Obama. I would contend that's why voters are so angry. They haven't had a pay raise. The other statistic you mentioned was GDP growth. So in this 7-year recovery, yeah, it's no question about it. When Barack Obama entered office, we had the housing crisis. We have a huge recession. Usually you have a pretty robust economy coming out of a recession. For 7 years, we've grown at less than 2% growth. I contrast that, you know, with when Ronald Reagan came in and cut taxes, we had close to 4% growth. We would have $3 trillion more GDP today if we had had the kind of growth under Obama that we had under Ronald Reagan.
So, well, I know you have another big meeting coming up next Friday with Mr. Trump here. Maybe we'll talk to you.
Leadership Council. And look, you know, you mentioned that Obama gave this speech in Elkhart, Indiana.
Right.
And you look back at that 2 days later and say, what country was he talking about? He was saying everything's so wonderful. And you look at this jobs report today, miserable. The worst report we've had in 3 years.
Well, he got a bit of a luck streak because that job report came out after.
Exactly.
Steve, we'll see you soon.
Thanks, Gretchen.
Time now for my take. It's the economy, stupid. How many times have we heard that? But it never gets old because it's so true, especially when talking about presidential elections. Through all the ups and downs, one thing that stayed pretty constant is the way in which the economy and jobs factor into who people ultimately decide to vote for. So let's look at more facts. The economy added that paltry 38,000 new jobs in May. And according to economist Peter Morici, home ownership is at a 48-year low. Millions of college graduates are in low-paying jobs, and family incomes are down about $1,600 on President Obama's watch. So how does that affect Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton? Well, I say a lot. Every poll I've seen so far between the two about best candidate to handle the economy or create jobs has handily gone to Trump. In a new Gallup poll, Trump leads Clinton 53 to 43% on who best to handle economy. And in this week's Quinnipiac poll on who'd be better at creating jobs, again, Trump over Clinton, 52 to 41%. When people walk into the voting booth time and time again, they vote with their pocketbooks. Will it be the same this year?